When your employees are feeling disengaged, they may be looking for a way to jump ship. The lack of time and resources to deal with this issue may lead to unfortunate results. Employee burnout is a serious problem that requires immediate attention. Gathering employee feedback can be tedious and time-consuming. However, the bigger question remains: how can we guarantee that the feedback we collect transforms into actionable insights? At some point, your insights become outdated, and it's back to square one. Your employees who are completely drained and burned out leave the company. This seriously affects your company profits and employee productivity. Even new hires will end up feeling just as disconnected because the root of the problem has not been tackled. Don't get stuck in that loop. Introducing Sprout Pulse, an empowering employee engagement tool that streamlines the entire process. The seamless Sprout HR integration makes gathering, measuring, and analyzing data smooth and simple. Pulse offers quick and easy surveys that allow employees to provide feedback anonymously, ensuring transparency. Pulse then analyzes that feedback and provides insights that support impactful decisions and drive engagement. The analytics are updated daily, and you have access to all the info you need via a simple, centralized dashboard. Reduce turnover and increase productivity with Sprout Pulse. What are you waiting for? Book a demo with Sprout today, the most trusted end-to-end HR platform.
My full name is Karen Angela Corduva, but everybody calls me Katie. I'm the head of Human Resources and Admin of Dragon Edge Group. Dragon Edge Group is the makers of Beach Hut Sunblock and one of the most top baby brands here in the Philippines. Well, my favorite part of working in Dragon Edge is the dynamics and the culture and the values that we promote to all of our employees. The continuous learning and education and innovations that the organization gives, not just me, but the whole Dexters. Dexters is what we call our employees. I joined Dragon Edge Group 2018. So I've been with the company for 5 years now. And when I joined them before, my topmost KPI is to automate the HR and timekeeping system. And then on my first day doing the timekeeping and payroll, I was just looking at the Excel spreadsheet for 30 minutes and finding out how this link connects to the other link. But that's the time I sourced out for many of different HRIS providers. I have been into other HRIS providers before, the one who installs software in your company. But the good thing about Sprout is cloud-based. No need to install the software and no need to do parallel testing and all. So I was really amazed, and Sprout really helped us, not just in automating the whole HR and payroll system process, but to increase the efficiency and productivity of HR teams. So if I'm doing the payroll the whole day, I'm just doing the payroll 1 hour max. Add on the double checking versus the manual side and the payroll automated side. From before, because they need to submit the paper trail for the overtime, for the leave, we need to check one by one. From my HR associate, she needs 1 to 2 days to do the checking on the attendance. And then I need 1 day to do the whole manual payroll computation. So it will take us 3 days. But in HR, she can do that checking of attendance in 30 minutes. And I can do it, I guess, 30 minutes, 1 day. Number one, it's because it's cloud-based. Number two, it's fast. I can be able to rely on the system. I was given a month free trial before, and then we had a parallel testing, and then I'm really happy with Sprout. That's why we've been with Sprout for 5 years. The productivity and efficiency, not just for human resource team, but for the whole organization. Because in just one click away, you can be able to file your leave, you can be able to file your official business, you can be able to check everything that you need. And every day, there are a lot of things that we were finding out that we haven't used before, We can be able to upload everything. No more paper trail in terms of finding the 201 file. If you need to find out your SSS number, you just need to go to your account and no need to go to HR and ask for your 201 folder and look for it. My favorite part is really the whole system of the Sprout HR and Sprout Payroll. Because working with HR for the last 15 years, it makes my life easier. Definitely yes. If Dragon Edge Group is growing, we are growing together with Sprout. And Sprout has been our partner for 5 years. And all the customer success managers has been my friends, even if they are not already connected with Sprout.
Your employees are the true rock stars of your company. They can bring immense value to your organization. But if they don't feel your appreciation for everything they bring to the table, they may decide it's time for a change. Ensuring compliance with the latest regulations is crucial, but what truly matters is nurturing the mental and physical well-being of your employees to cultivate their happiness, loyalty, and unwavering engagement. But how will you know what they need? And how can you make sure they get exactly that? Introducing Sprout Wellness, an all-in-one wellness solution designed to provide the benefits your employees deserve without putting any additional strain on your HR team. All wellness services are provided by skilled and certified professionals. With 5 main components, Sprout's wellness program embraces a complete approach to employee wellness, providing you with the tools and insights needed to ensure it. Analytics, combining Sprout Pulse and wellness to collect survey data. Awareness and learning, providing education opportunities, group activities, meditation, yoga, and coaching sessions for employees. Consultation, nurturing mental health through counseling. Compliance, drafting a mental health policy for your company. Sprout's solution is customizable to your employees' needs, reduces stress and anxiety, provides a safe and stimulating environment, and shows employees that you value their well-being. Unlock the power of employee satisfaction and skyrocket productivity with Sprout Wellness. What are you waiting for? Book a demo with Sprout today, the most trusted end-to-end HR platform.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our webinar on navigating success for family-owned businesses, integrating HR compliance and benefit solutions. I am Crystal Insigne Ambrosio, and I'll be your host for today. Thank you for your continued support of Sprout HR Workforce. This afternoon, we will be exploring family-owned businesses in depth and provide guidance on how to manage the complexities of HR, legal, and benefits for optimal business performance. Please remember to follow at Sprout HR Tech on social media if you enjoy webinars like this one, and keep an eye out for brand new episodes. Now, before I introduce our speaker for today, I'd like to give you a quick introduction to Sprout. Sprout Solutions is the largest homegrown B2B SaaS company in the Philippines and the most trusted end-to-end HR platform aimed at creating game-changing solutions for the Philippines. Our goal is to help Philippine businesses grow through our ecosystem of solutions that enable organizations for the future of work. Let's watch this video to learn more.
Are you struggling to find the right HR and business solutions partner? Introducing the new Sprout ecosystem, a platform where integrated HR and business solutions come together.
I would just want to let you guys know that we will be having a fireside chat session later where you can ask our speaker anything about the topic. To send in your questions, kindly click the chat box and click the Q&A button. So start listing down your questions and we will be addressing as many of them as we can later on. So I know that you guys are excited as I am today. So let's kick this off with our first speaker. Without further ado, we want to introduce our first speaker for today's session, Ms. Lalaine M. Familara. She is a Senior Labor and Employment Officer of the Bureau of Working Conditions, one of the Bureau of the Department of Labor and Employment, responsible for the formulation and development of labor standards in the areas of work, occupational safety and health, and other conditions of employment. Specifically, she is assigned at the Policy and Program Development Division, or PPDD, the policy-making body of the Bureau of the Implementation of the DOLE regional offices. Among others, she handles trainings on general labor standards and other DOLE labor issuance for the new labor inspectors before they are allowed to join the inspection team, as well as one of the speakers who handles training on GLS per request of the stakeholders. She's been in the Bureau of 37 years now. She was the Senior Executive Assistant of BWC for 18 years and was assigned as the administrative staff of the Philippine Overseas Labor Office, or POLO, in Taichung, Taiwan for almost 3 years. While in the overseas assignment, she also handles livelihood and computer literacy training of the OFWs in Taiwan and oversees the administrative functions of the local HARS in Polo, Taichung. She is a graduate of the Bachelor of Science in Business Administration of the University of the East and obtained her master's degree in Business Administration at University of Perpetual Health System Delta, or UPHSD. Today, we will all learn from her about the tools and strategies to streamline and optimize your workforce, compliance, and benefits management. Let's all welcome Ms. Lalaine Familara from the Bureau of Working Conditions.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Lalaine.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Lalaine Familara, and I'm in the Bureau for 37 years. So ang tagal na, di ba? Okay, so my topic for today is about labor standards. All about labor standards po. Okay, so slides, yeah. So, siguro magtataka kayo, why you should know about labor standards? Dahil dito po, dapat alam, lalo na yung mga employer, dapat alam kung ano talaga ang minimum requirements ng ating batas tungkol sa pagpapatrabaho, tungkol sa mga benefits ng worker. So, if I may ask, what do you understand by labor standards? Okay, so next slide. Next po. What are labor standards? Okay, next po. Okay, these are the minimum requirements prescribed by our existing laws, rules, and regulations relating to wages, hours of work, allowances, and other monetary benefits, including those welfare benefits set by the Occupational Safety and Health Standards. O kaya, tawagin natin OSH. Okay, next slide. So, ito po yung ating 3 books or what we call this Bible dito sa aming trabaho. So, meron tayong Occupational Safety and Health Standards. This is available at the Occupational Safety and Health Center. And then we have the Labor Code of the Philippines as renumbered. Meron din po kami dito sa Bureau of Working Conditions, nagbibigay din po kami ng kopya. And pwede rin po itong i-download sa aming website. And then we have the Handbook on Workers, Statutory Monetary Benefits, 23 edition na po. And then may request pa po kami for next year po. So this is not available dahil naubos na po. Parang hot cake po ito na palagi kaagad nauubos. Tapos po, ito rin po ay downloadable sa ating website. Yung handbook natin ay hango sa Labor Code of the Philippines, Book 3. Okay po. So next slide. So ito po yung outline of my topic for today. The hours of work under Article 83, holiday pay under Article 94, premium pay, Article 91 to 93, overtime pay, night shift differential, service charges, as amended by RA 11-12-360, and then the service leave under Article 95, maternity leave, and next slide. The paternity leave, the parental leave for solo parents pursuant to RA 89722 as amended by RA 11861, and then the leave for victims of VAUSI, especially for women, 13th month pay, separation pay, retirement pay, and the social welfare benefits. Napakarami po mag-information overload po kayo. Okay. Next slide. Okay, we have the compliance guide. In our handbook, we have in the first few pages, meron po doong compliance guide para mag-guide ang ating mga reader kung sino ba talaga ang mag-comply ng minimum requirements ng ating batas. So, kanina yung in-enumerate ko, applicable labor standards. Meron po tayong retail and service establishments na employing 1 to 5 workers and employing 1 to 9 workers. Ito po, meron pong applicable, yung may mga check po, yun po yung kailangan mag-comply sila. And then may holiday po tayo, yung 1 to 5 workers and 1 to 9 workers po, not applicable. Pero yung agriculture and then agriculture, lahat po yan ay kailangan nilang i-comply. And then yung night shift differential naman po, not applicable sa employing 1 to 5 workers, and also the service incentive leave not applicable to retail and service establishments employing 1 to 5 and 1 to 9 workers. Wala po silang service incentive leave, pero depende yun sa kanilang mga employer kung magbibigay. So it is a company granted benefit. Okay. So at saka yung retirement pay, wala po yung ating employing 1 to 5 workers, and yung employing 1 to 9 workers ay meron po yung government po ang magbabayad doon sa ating SSS. Okay, receiving benefits. Okay, so ito po yung ating compliance guide po as reference ng ating mga employer. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is an example of the daily minimum wage under National Capital Region. Alam po natin lahat na every regions ay nagbabari ang ating minimum wage. So, depende po kung anong region kayo, or dito lang po ito sa NCR, ang non-agriculture is 610 na ang minimum wage, and yung service and retail establishments, employing 15 workers or less, and yung manufacturing establishments, regularly employing less than 10 workers is 573 po ang minimum wage rates. Okay. So next. Okay, let's go to the hours of work. As we all know, our minimum hours of work is 8 hours a day. And pag umexcess, pag sumobra sa 8 hours a day, ay that is already considered as, ano po? Siyempre, overtime pay. Okay. So, meron din po tayong 60 minutes meal break. Yung 12 to 1 po, yun po yung meal break na dapat ibigay sa atin. And that is non-compensable. Ima-minus po yun sa 8 hours na na ating work hours. And then, pero kung less than 60 minutes, halimbawa, 30 minutes lang ang binigay sa empleyado na meal break, and then the other 30 minutes, bumalik siya sa trabaho. Hindi niya nagamit yung kanyang meal break sa pansarili niyang ano sa kanyang katawan. So sa ano nila. So ang mangyayari doon, that will be a compensable work hour. Yung 1 hour meal break, pag hindi nagamit ng mga empleyado, yun po ay magiging compensable working hour ng isang employee. And then, our employees have rest period or coffee break from 5 minutes or to 20 minutes. Yun po yung ating compensable pa rin po. Make meal break sa umaga and then sa hapon po. Also, after working for 24 consecutive hours, after working 6 work days in hindi natapos. After giving work for 6 work days, dapat po ang susunod na araw doon ay 24 consecutive hours. Yun po yung kanilang magiging rest day. So pag pinagtrabaho ng rest day, magkakaroon po sila ng additional premium pay kung sakaling nag-work during rest day. And then, alam po natin lahat yung ating breastfeeding act, anong tawag? Expanded Breastfeeding Promotion Act of 2009. So, ang lahat ng empleyado will be given lahat ng mga empleyado na nursing mother na merong dede sa may baby na bago, so yung bibigyan sila ng time to extract milk even during office hour. So bibigyan po sila ng 40 minutes break period doon sa everyday para po makapag-extract ng milk. So yung lactation station po, kasama po yun sa ini-inspect ng ating mga labor inspectors na pumupunta sa mga opisina po. Lactation station po. That is very important din po na dapat nagpo-provide ang employer. So, the lactating mother will be given 40 minutes, pwedeng 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the afternoon. Okay, so next. Okay, let's go to the rules for pay on regular holidays and special non-working days. Okay, next slide. Okay, for regular holidays, kagaya ng pinakita ko kanina, this is not applicable to workers of retail and service establishments regularly employing less than 10 workers. Sa ano lang po ito? Retail and service establishments. Less than 10 workers. Okay. So pag holiday pay, the holiday pay is payment for daily wage for any unworked regular holiday. So if work, 100% of the daily wage. If unworked pala, kahit nagtrabaho siya o hindi, may bayad din po na 100%. If work, pag nagtrabaho, yun po yung sinasabi nating double pay, 200% of the daily wage. And if it is a regular holiday falling on a rest day, regular holiday na nga, rest day pa ng tao, so 200%, dadagdagan pa natin 30% of the 200% or a total of 260%. Ang matatanggap po ng isang empleyado working on a regular holiday falling on a rest day is 260% of his daily rate. So, ito lang po ang condition for entitlement. The worker should be present or on leave with pay on the last work day prior to holiday. So for example, holiday bukas, regular holiday bukas, dapat po pumasok siya ngayon. Last work day prior to the holiday para ma-entitled po siya sa holiday pay. So kung absent naman po siya with pay, kasi may mga earned leave naman po siya, naka-charge sa leave, pwede po yun at entitled pa rin siya sa regular holiday. Pero kung naka-leave without pay siya, on the last work day prior to the holiday, leave without pay, hindi po siya entitled sa holiday pay. Okay? So next po. So this one is the matatapos na regular holidays under proclamation number 42. Ito po yung ating mga 12 regular holidays. Tapos po, next slide. Next slide po. So, special non-working days. Pag special non-working days naman po, ay premium pay. This is additional compensation for work performed within 8 hours on a special day. If unworked, this is no pay unless there is a favorable company policy, practice, or CBA. Pag hindi nagtrabaho, walang bayad. Pero kung mayroong mga company policy naman na binabayaran sila kahit hindi sila magtrabaho, okay lang po yun. So, if work naman, plus 30% ng kanyang basic salary for the day. So, 130% po yung kanyang sahod. If work during special day, falling on a rest day, pagkagaya nung kanina, kung nagtrabaho during the regular holiday, falling on a rest day, di po ba, ang sabi natin ay 260% ang kanyang sahod for that day. While this one is the special non-working holiday, so ang magiging plus sa kanyang, dagdag sa kanyang sahod is 50% po. So a total of 150%. Working during special non-working day. Okay, next po. So, ang special non-working days natin under proclamation number 42, ito po yun, nasa 8 yung special non-working days natin. So, nakadaan na po yan. Ang babantayan na lang po natin ay ang December 8, which is Friday. Sa Friday po is holiday, special non-working days po. So, kung pumasok, plus 30%. Okay? So, All Souls Day, ay hindi, November 2, tapos na. At saka yung last day of the year, December 31, ito po yung ating babantayan din po na pwede kayong mag-leave kasi with ano naman po ito, with no work, no pay. Pero kung may company policy, bayad pa rin. And then, pag pumasok po, plus 30%. Ito na lang po, dalawa, December 8 and December 31. Okay, next. How about special working days? Ang special working days po, for work performed, an employee is entitled only to their basic rate. Wala pong additional. No premium pay is required since work on said days is considered work on ordinary working days. Sinabi lang pong special working days dahil parang pinapahalagahan lang natin kung ano yung commemoration na sineselebrate ng isang sektor, ng isang organizations, at nakikisimpatya tayo o nakikisaya tayo sa kanila. Kaya yun ay tinawag na special working days. Marami kaming natatanggap sa office na tawag kung merong declaration on special working days. So, palagi lang po nating tatandaan, if that is special working days, parang nagtrabaho lang po kayo during regular working days, ordinary working days. Yun lang po. Next. So, ito po, to simplify, para intindihan po talaga natin yung holiday pay and the premium pay when it is due, ang holiday pay during regular holidays, while premium pay work rendered on a special non-working day and rest day. So what is the additional compensation? Holiday pay, additional 100%. of basic pay. And then sa premium pay naman, 30% of basic wage or 50% of basic wage kung special working day siya, and rest day pa niya. So 50% po yung idadagdag. Conditions of entitlement, present or on leave at the last working day prior to the regular holiday or present during a regular holiday. Magtatanong, ma'am, absent, ay pumasok po ako before the holiday. Ay, hindi po ako pumasok before the holiday, pero pumasok po ako during the regular holiday. Okay lang po yun. So, 200% ang matatanggap mo pa rin doon. So, actual work sa premium pay naman po is actual work rendered. Kasi nga po, no work, no pay. Pag nagtrabaho, syempre may premium pay na 30%. The formula is basic wage plus COLA. Karaniwan naman po ngayon ng COLA natin is integrated na doon sa ating basic wage. Kasama na po yun. I-multiply na lang po natin ng 200%. And then, about the premium pay, ito po, plus 130%, plus COLA or plus 150 for holiday which falls on the rest day, 150%. Examples, yan, para ma-apply po natin. Yung 610 na basic wage natin ngayon, na nandoon na rin yung COLA natin sa 610, i-multiply lang po yun ng 200% is equal to 1,220. Yun po yung matatanggap niya kung nagtrabaho po siya during the holiday, 1,220 dahil double pay po yun. How about the premium pay? Kung 610, nagtrabaho ka during special holiday, times 130% is equal to 793 po ang masasahod niya. Or kung nagtrabaho siya during the regular, special non-working day, at tapos po, ayun ay rest day pa niya, so 150% or equal to 915% ang matatanggap niyang trabaho for that special non-working day falling on his rest day. Okay. So, ang example, pag halimbawa nagtrabaho during the holiday at saka rest day pa rin niya po, i-multiply lang po natin yung ating sahod, basic wage na 610 times 260%. Yun po yung ating magiging sahod for the holiday pay falling on a rest day. Okay, next po. Use of factors naman po tayo. So, ano natin yung monthly paid employees, differentiate muna natin ang monthly paid employees versus daily paid employees. Ang monthly paid employees po ay paid every day of the month. Kahit during rest day niya or during yung pag wala siyang pasok, bayad po siya, yun po yung monthly paid employees natin. Pay includes unwork rest days, unwork rest days, special days, and regular holidays. And uses factor 365 days in a year to determine the estimated annual monthly salary. So, ibig pong to simplify po, ang monthly paid employee natin ay paid for every day of the year, including Saturday or Sundays or rest days or special days or regular holidays. Yun po yung ating monthly paid employees. And then, the next slide. Ang ating daily paid employees naman po ay daily paid employees paid on the days they actually work except for unworked regular holidays. So the principle of daily paid employees is no work, no pay. So kung pumasok, may premium pay. Yun po. So, factors 395, 313. Yung 395 po ay for the security guards. Dahil po pumapasok sila every day. And then na-factor na rin po natin yung mga holidays nila na 12 times 2, magiging 24. And then yung kanilang special non-working day, yun po na-factor. So, ang total is 395 days. And 313, ginagamit po ito is used during kung ang worker ay nagtatrabaho from Monday to Saturday. Ang factor na ginagamit nila is 313 or yung Monday to Friday naman po, ang ginagamit naman po doon ay 261 para in a year is used in determining the estimated annual monthly salary. So, yun lang po yung mga factor natin. 313 for Monday to Saturday, 261 for Monday to Friday, and then 395 for the security guards na nagtatrabaho every day of the year. Okay, so next is example for the monthly rate. Example for estimated equivalent monthly rate is equal to applicable daily rate times factor divided by 12. Makukuha natin ang monthly rate. So kasi minsan, pag yung employer, ang sinasabi lang, o sige, bibigyan kita ng 25,000 per month. So, hindi mo ngayon alam kung magkano yung daily paid mo. So, gamitin mo lang itong ating formula. May basic mathematics natin, may transposition lang. Ang given is the equivalent monthly rate. Tapos, ang given ay yung ating monthly, tama, o monthly rate, tapos applicable daily, i-divide na times 12 divided by applicable daily, divided by factor, magiging daily rate. Yun. Again, equivalent monthly rate is equal to applicable daily rate times factor divided by 12. So, pag given ang equivalent monthly rate, i-multiply lang po natin ito sa 12 para makuha natin yung salary niya for 1 year divided by 12, divided by the factor which is 313 or 261. Ang magiging outcome noon is the applicable daily rate, yung arawan niyang sahod. Okay? So, equivalent monthly rate, 610 for example, sa NCR po ito, 610 times 365 divided by 12 is equal to 18,554. Ito po yung kanyang monthly rate. Ganon din po sa security guards, 395, magiging 20,079 pesos. And then, sa 313, Monday to Saturday, magiging 15,000. Ito po yung minimum wage nila dahil minimum wage lang po yung ating kinukompute. So, ito, 15,910. And then, sa 261, Monday to Friday lang, ang kanilang sahod po monthly is 13,267.5. Okay. So, next is yan. Dito naman po tayo sa overtime pay, night shift differential, service charges, and other pay rules. Next po. Okay. Ano yung overtime? Di ba sabi ko kanina, pag sumobra sa 8 hours work, overtime. This is additional compensation for work performed beyond 8 hours. So, kung mag-overtime siya, ordinary work days, nag-overtime siya ng ordinary work days, plus 25% nung kanilang ng kanyang hourly rate. Kasi ang mga overtime lang naman po is ang overtime lang po is 2 hours a day, yung mga ganun po. So ordinary work days is 25% and then the rest days, special days and regular holidays, ang premium pay natin po dito is 30%. So dalawa lang pong rate ang ating tatandaan sa overtime. 25% if ordinary work days and 30% during rest days, special days, and regular holidays. Okay, next po. Night shift pay under Article 86. This is not applicable to workers of retail service establishments regularly employing not more than 5 workers. So this is additional compensation for work performed between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. So yung ating hourly rate, madadagdagan pa siya ng 10% provided nagtrabaho between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. So night shift pay is plus 10% of the hourly rate. Po. Okay, next. Okay, to simplify overtime versus night shift differential. When is it due? Ang overtime work performed beyond 8 hours and the night shift work performed between 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. So the additional compensation is 25% for regular work days and 30% for regular holiday, rest days, and special non-working days. Sa night shift naman po, 10% sa hourly rate niya. Okay, so the formula, overtime is hourly rate times 100. Kasi kukunin na lang natin yung hourly rate times 1.25 times OT hours or 1.3 times OT hours. Sa night shift naman po, yung hourly rate times 1.10 kasi 10% lang yun naman yung ating idadagdag times number night shift hours. So yun po. So examples on ordinary 76, ito po yung hourly rate, 610 divided by 8 hours, 676.25 times 1.25 times halimbawa nag-overtime ng isang araw lang. So ang kanyang hourly rate is 95.31. Ganun din po pag sa regular holiday or rest day, 1.52, kukunin po yan natin yung hourly rate niya for that day. And then, ita-times natin sa 1.30, which is the premium pay during the holiday. And then, yun po yung makukuha niya. Ganun din po sa iba pa. And then, sa night shift, ganun din, 76.25 hourly rate times 1.10% times 1 hour lang ang ating overtime. So, magiging 83.88 and so on and so forth. Sundan nyo lang po kung gusto nyo pong mag-compute ng sarili ninyo. Okay? So, next is service charges. Alam po natin dati na ang service charges natin ay kinukuhaan ng management 75% sa worker, and then 25% sa management. So, ngayon po, ang ating service charges, all service charges actually collected by covered establishments shall be distributed completely and equally based on actual hours or days of work or service rendered among the covered employees, including those already receiving the benefit of sharing in the service charges. So, ang lahat po ng service charges ngayon ay wala na pong portion na napupunta sa sa management, kundi lahat po sa lahat na lang po na empleyado na involved doon sa nagkokolekta ng service charges. Okay, 100% po. Okay, next. Yung covered employees po, ibig sabihin po ng covered employees, all employees under the direct employ of covered establishments, regardless of their positions, designations, or employment status, and irrespective of the method by which their wages are paid. So, yung mga empleyado lang po under the direct employ of the covered establishments, ay how about the project-based employee, yung mga supply lang po ng mga ibang service provider, hindi po sila kasama. Kaya ngayon po, ongoing na po yung pagre-review ng service charges at sinasuggest ng mga labor organizations na isama po lahat ng nagtatrabaho doon regardless kung siya ay direct employee o hindi, basta involved doon or nagtatrabaho doon sa establishment or sa hotel or restaurants na yon. So undergoing po ang ating revision of the implementing rules and regulations ng ating service charges. Yung except managerial employees as defined by law. So alam po natin na ang managerial employees ay yun yung may power to hire and fire employees, yung may nasa fourfold test natin. So yun po yung mga hindi kasama. Okay, so next is wait lang. Okay. Next is the payment of wages. Time of payment, once every 2 weeks or twice a month at intervals not exceeding 16 days. And place of payment at the workplace and payment of wages direct to the employees. Ito po yung talagang ating minimum requirements. Pero may mga establishments na humihingi sa amin ng exemption dahil ang gusto nila ay once a month lang ang pag-pay ng kanilang mga salary sa mga empleyado. So, ang suggestion or opinion ng BWC or the Department of Labor and Employment, pwede namang pagbigyan sila provided advance payment yung 15 days. Halimbawa, magbibigay sila ng salary for 1 month, binigay nila ng 15th day of the month. So kung binigay nila yung 16th day of the month, yung first half na pagtrabahuan ng mga worker and then yung second half ay hindi pa napagtatrabahuan. Pero babayaran sila ng one-time payment ng kanilang sweldo. Pinapayagan po yun ng DOLE. Kasi ang nakalagay dito, once every 2 weeks or twice a month. Pero kasi humihingi na exemption na ganon, so dapat i-advance payment. Hindi pwede yung once a month lang, pero ang bayad is sa 30. So, yung pagtrabahuan nila, napakatagal po. So, yun po yung conditions ng binibigay ng Department of Labor. Place of payment, syempre at the workplace. Kaya lang po ngayon, ang ating sweldo ngayon ay through ATM na. So, pinapayagan din po yon. Meron po tayong labor advisory tungkol doon. And then the payment of wages is direct to the employee. So, yes po. Yes po, magbibigyan po kayo ng presentation. Okay, so direct to the employee ang ating payment of wages. Okay, next slide. Non-interference in the disposal of wages and allowable deductions. So, general rule, walang deduction sa salary. Exceptions authorized by law, including deductions for insurance, premiums, and union dues. Ano yung mga authorized by law? Yun po yung mga SSS, Pag-ibig, PhilHealth, pwede po yung i-deduct. At yan po talaga ay dinideduct. Ngayon, yung mga sahod, yung mga pakiusap naman po ng mga worker na bawasan sila, pwede rin po provided merong written authorization of the employee for payment to the employer. Halimbawa, nagkas advance, payment to the employer and to a third person and employer, pumayag si employer na ibawas. So, yun po yung na kondisyon na kung papayag, kung may authorization ka at papayag ang employer na bawasan yung kanyang sahod. Okay? So next is, ito po yung listahan ng mga unauthorized deductions. Baka meron po kayo diyang mga binabawas sa mga sahod ng ating mga employees. Company uniforms, cash deposits for loss or damages. Yung company uniforms kasi dapat provided yun ng company. Okay, kasi sila yung nagre-require na mag-uniform, magkaroon ng uniforms. So, cash deposits for loss or damages, hindi po pwede. Hindi pwedeng kumuha magbawas sa sweldo ng isang bagay na hindi pa nangyayari o hindi pa nagkakaroon ng loss or damages, pero kailangan mong mag-cash deposits just in case. Hindi naman po pwede yon. So, personal protective equipment, yung bayad sa PPE, hindi rin pwede, capital share, capital build-up in service cooperatives, training fees sa mga trainings na pinapadala ng establishments, ay dapat sagot yun ng establishments. Or other deductions not included under Labor Advisory Number 11, Series of 2014. So if you have time, you can read the Labor Advisory Number 11, Series of 2014. Okay, next is, dito na tayo sa napapanahon na topic. Okay, so 13th month pay under PD 851. Sino ang pwedeng tumanggap? Rank and file employees who work for at least 1 month during a calendar year, regardless of amount of basic salary received per month, regardless of designation or employment status, and regardless of method by which wages are paid. So, basta lahat po ng empleyado ay dapat entitled sa 13th month pay. The minimum amount of 13th month pay, wait lang po, excuse me. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Hello, Cristel? Cristel?
Yes. Hi,
Yes,
Elaine.
pasensya na, pinapababa kami at may bank threat daw. I'm so sorry. Hindi tayo matatapos.
Oh, okay. No problem with that, Elaine.
Okay. Yung mga gamit ko, Yes po, ha. Pasensya na po talaga. I will continue this. Okay? Sa susunod po.
May emergency lang dito sa Dolly.
May emergency lang po dito sa Dolly. Pinapababa po kami. So you can give my slides, you can give it to our participants, okay?
Yeah, that's truly understandable, Elaine.
Yes,
Thank you very much for
I'm
that.
sorry,
And you
I'm
guys
sorry
keep safe
talaga.
there.
Okay, thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Okay, so there's actually I believe that we actually have attendees here who took a screenshot of slides they find relevant to them. doon sa natapos na discussion ni Lalaine, no? But don't worry, we will be sending a copy of the presentation deck for your perusal and for your future reference. Just to share with you, one that really resonated to me the most, if I may share, no, during Lalaine's talk is about the Bible or the three books of labor standards. So I personally is a believer of having those kind of important resource materials, as this actually gives us guidelines that are applicable regardless of time and person, which later on influence our daily lives as well. So we actually also see a lot of questions already in the Q&A tab. And so for those who have more questions to be that would like answer later on, we will be addressing them later during the fireside chat. So before we move on to the last speaker, I'd like to encourage you to scan the QR code as well on the screen to download the full State of HR 2023 report. So this report is packed with valuable insights on the latest trends and challenges in HR, and it's a great resource for anyone who wants to stay ahead of the curve. In the report, you will actually learn about the latest trends in HR, such as the rise of hybrid work, the importance of employee engagement, and the need for diversity and inclusion. Once you have the report downloaded, you can read it at your own pace and learn more about the latest trends and challenges in HR. Okay, great. So I hope you've all had a chance to download the State of HR 2023 report. Should you have questions accessing this report, let us know in the chat box so we could assist. Now, let's continue to our resident HR expert speaker, whom our regular attendees know very well already. He is a seasoned human resources professional with over 17 years of experience in the corporate world. He has held various roles in the IT, BPO, consumer goods, manufacturing, and government sectors, and has a deep understanding of the legal and practical aspects of human resources management. He is also a practicing lawyer, and his practice covers labor, privacy, energy, corporate governance, and compliance, and special legal projects as well. He is a frequent speaker at various learning events organized by the People Management Association of the Philippines, or PIMA, and he is a faculty member of the Arellano University School of Law, Philippine Law School, and the University of Asia and the Pacific. Let's all welcome Attorney Lester Ople, HR Evangelist of Sprout Solutions. Hi,
Thank
Attorney.
you. Thank you, Crystal, for the kind intro. And I hope that our friends, Ma'am Lalaine and the rest of the Dole family are, safe despite the, it's so weird, no? Pagka live event, meron talaga nangyayari like that, no? But let's hope for the best, and let's hope that it would be an uneventful Tuesday afternoon for our colleagues in the Department of Labor. Of course, I have personal ties to the building. It is called the Blas F. Ople building after all. No? But anyway, for today, we will be talking about simplifying HR and business processes for family businesses. And of course, in terms of family business, if we speak family, I always get reminded of, Fast and the Furious, particularly Dom. No? And in his famous words, no, he doesn't have friends, he has family. So the good thing about the family business, it makes that there are certain nuances in a family business that makes it a little different from the normal businesses that we set up. So in a paper published by the DLSU, written by Professor Johnson, she mentioned three characteristics that make family businesses different. Particularly the fact that in a family business there are actually three different systems at play. Okay, the first system is the business system, and then you have the ownership and governance system and the family system. So the business system is, of course, your business environment. If you are in the manufacturing industry, if you are in the BPO industry, or if you're a retail concern, of course, you have your nuances, what your industry best practices are, what your suppliers and customers expect from you. This is basically your business system, your BAU, if you will. Now, the ownership and the governance system is basically how the ownership of the business treats the business. So if you are a corporation, then of course you would have your shareholders as well as the directors and other managers. But if you are a small and medium enterprise, of course you have a different way of managing your business. And of course, lastly, in the more established companies with longer histories, no, we have also a family system. Of course, without naming the different business families in the Philippines, um, they are in various industries. They're sometimes in retail, real estate, energy, water, all of these industries. No? And one thing that permeates all of their businesses, even if they are in different corporate entities, is that there are family values as well as the personalities that are inherent in the family that affect how basically the business is being run. Okay, so again, having friends, having family and friends, it's always a good thing, of course. But the thing with family, there is always a story behind every family. Next slide, please. Okay. So the unique advantage of family businesses is that as a family business, there is no constraint of being locked into short-term business goals. Of course, any business would have short-term, quarterly, monthly business goals. These are sales targets, revenue targets, what have you. But at the end of the day, the family is the one who decides on what is the strategic and long-term direction that the business wants to take. Okay, so this means it's actually a really good thing, especially for the employee experience side of the equation. Why? Because if there is no shackle of short-term business objectives, it means that the family who is running the shots, who is calling the shots in the business, they have a different set of challenges, of course, because of course there are always challenges with having a family intertwined with business. Kumbaga, in Filipino parlance, if we have friends in the business, we also have family in the business, and it generates a different nuance whenever we are managing the business. Okay, next slide, please. Now, I'm sharing a slide from our State of HR study, and we are comparing two data points in 2022 and 2023. As you can see, and this is particular to our previous speaker, what Ma'am Lalaine talked about earlier is basically what you call HR hygiene. What do we mean by HR hygiene? These are the things that honestly your HR should never even start thinking about. These are things that should be running like clockwork at the back of the stage, and your employees should have timely and accurate payroll as the least of their worries. They need to focus on what they need to do best, and that is generate the business results for your business concern. Now, going back to the slide, this is the 2022 State of HR snapshot. In 2022, what was the biggest HR pain points? The top three biggest HR pain points. It's very much process centric in that recruitment, complaint management, and compensation and benefits were the top three concerns of human resources colleagues in 2022. Moving now to 2023, we can see that now we have a different agenda. Our HR colleagues have shifted to an employee-focused agenda in that the top three concerns in 2023 are now retention, engagement, and of course, recruitment. So from a very process-centric operational concern in 2022, we're now shifting to a strategic mode in 2023. Okay. Now, I'm sharing another data point. Next slide, please. And this is another sobering data point for our colleagues in HR. Why? In 2022, I've shared that one of the top three concerns is complaint management. Now, let's look at the data in 2022. Because the jury is still out on 2023. But in 2022, this is a report from the National Labor Relations Commission. And of course, we are aware that the NLRC is a court of primary jurisdiction over employee concerns against their employers. In 2022 alone, a staggering 63% of labor cases are resolved in favor of the employees. This means that the moment a labor complaint reaches the labor court, there is already a 60% probability that we will not be winning in favor of management. It will be resolved in favor of the employees. But this is just, of course, 2022 data. But if you look at the regulatory environment, of course, we have hard-coded into our labor code, Article 4, which says that if there is any dispute in the interpretation of the labor code, then it will have to be resolved in favor of the employee. Additionally, we have the equipoise rule, which says that in an instance that the evidence is exactly equally stacked between the employer and the employee, the case will have to be resolved in favor of the employee because that is the social justice bent of our constitution and our labor law. Okay, so at the back of our minds, I want you all to have this imprint that we should never let a complaint reach the labor courts because it's a 60% probability already that it will be resolved in favor of employees. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so how do we, after taking all the top three concerns that in 2023, we're now talking talent management. But at the back of our minds also, we have a 60% probability of losing in the labor courts. No? Of course, this means that we now have to have an HR compliance strategy or a risk management strategy that focuses on policies and processes that mitigate against labor risk. Okay? And how do we manage labor risk? No? In the earlier topic with Ms. Laling, what we have is we had a crash course basically on general labor standards. I teach that subject in the law school, and Ma'am Laling, I think, will be able to finish it in 2 hours, whereas it usually takes us one full semester to finish that topic. No, but this is a minimum competency requirement for our HR departments. Our HR departments should be, at the very least, knowledgeable about the general labor standards requirements of the Department of Labor. But if you are in a position to really invest in technology, then things like Sprout, an HR tech solution like Sprout, you don't even need to think about this anymore because it all happens on the back end. And for Sprout, at least what we do is that any updates or any changes in regulation, we immediately implement it on the back end so that our subscribers and users are actually no longer worrying about compliance. As long as your payroll and your HR data is on the Sprout system, then you just sit back, relax, and we'll take care of the compliance for you. As long as your policies, on the other hand, are compliant with the minimum requirements of labor law. Now, that focus on compliance would now free up your HR department to focus on the next important thing, which is engagement and development of employees. Why do we have to talk about engagement and development? Because if we no longer think about compliance, meaning our payroll is always time and accurate, our deductions are always on time and accurate, our compliance on all the checklists required by the Department of Labor is always there, then we can shift our focus away from the operational, the mundane, the daily, and we focus on the long-term strategic and value generating, such as engagement and development. But again, these nuances on and focuses on foci on engagement development, there is a different nuance when we talk about the context of a family business. Okay, next slide, please. So going back to the state of HR, so we've asked our HR colleagues about the top three challenges. One of the questions also in the state of HR study is that we asked what are the things that they think would contribute to success for the HR department. In 2022 and in 2023, we see very similar trends. Of course, there is always a wish list for better innovation, better technology, better budgets, in other words. Because, of course, innovation and technology, it is not a zero cost. There really has to be a commitment on the part of management to really invest in innovation and technology. And, of course, if you have innovation and technology, you also need training and seminars because you can never, you can have the most up-to-date HR system, but if you have no training and seminars or lack of skills and knowledge to operate and leverage on the latest HR technology, then definitely, the concept there is it's pearls before swine. It would not be something usable, or it would be something that would be wasteful on the part of the organization if there is indeed investment already in innovation and technology, but no corresponding investment in training and seminars. And lastly, of course, engagement and collaboration in 2022. In 2023, it's a little more specific. Our HR colleagues actually request support from company management. It's the number 2 factor that they're saying for an HR department to be successful. If there's no support from company management, then of course, that means that the budgets will not be there, the strategic direction will not be there, the management oversight will not be there. Okay, so therefore, what does this mean for the family business sector? This means that the family businesses those who are running the business really should start thinking about HR no longer as a cost center or somebody who just does the compliance for the business, but really it's a center for innovation that we have to train and support so that we can leverage and generate the business results that are required of the business for long-term and strategic growth. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, now let's talk about the employee development trends. In the State of HR study of 2023, we have more than half of the industry actually offering in-house training programs. This means that, at least for our respondent group, we have seen that more than half of them are confident enough to offer in-house training programs, leveraging on internal talent. Okay. Of course, this means that we also have almost half of the population who are unable to offer in-house training programs, maybe because they really do not have the talent and the resources to do so. No, so that is also an equally sobering fact. Now, when we talk about evaluations or performance management, why did we talk about performance management here? Because the end game of development, talent uh, giving upskilling trainings is to enable and unleash business results. Now, if we are unable to have a performance management system that would actually measure the tangibles and the intangibles of that improvement, then what's the point of investing in our talent development strategy, right? So more than half of the HR professionals surveyed actually have challenges in consolidating evaluations, and more than half of them actually conduct performance evaluations either virtually or face to face. This means that there is a conscious effort towards performance management as a tool to ensure that employee development actually meets its targets as well. Okay. On the flip side, what does this also imply? This means that half of our organizations do not have any concept of performance management. And if we look at a lot of the family businesses, especially the SMEs, what happens anecdotally is that if you go through your Philippine HR group and other HR fora, you will see that a lot of organizations actually ask the question, how do you get rid of a non-performing employee in various forms? No? So in that manner, it means that there's still a long way to go in terms of performance management as a standard practice in our industry. Okay, next slide, please. Now, so all of this data we've shared today, no, I'd like to distill it into three questions, no. So the first question is, are your HR processes compliant with the minimum requirements of labor law? In the earlier presentation with Ma'am Laling from the BWC, we were able to see virtually the checklist of the DOLE in conducting labor inspections. No? This is actually a good practice. You start downloading on an annual basis the General Labor Standards Handbook, the Statutory Monetary Benefits Handbook, and then just run through your policies one by one. If you are compliant, then you're in a good shape. No? And then after that, of course, what next? You have to now focus on the next stage of enabling and unleashing business results. You now have to ask the question, what can we do to keep the talent that we have now? In a separate ebook from Sprout, we talk about the Great Resignation, no? And how we have seen it affect the talent landscape in the Philippines. And now, in the traditional sense, in the pre-pandemic world, our competitor was basically other companies in the same line of business. Now, in terms of talent competition, we actually have to compete with freelancing. We have to compete with their own businesses. No? And this has drastically changed the talent landscape for 2023 and beyond. So we have to keep our talents now. Otherwise, we run the risk of losing them. And lastly, of course, it is inevitable that people will leave for personal reasons. For personal reasons, for family reasons, they will leave. And they will look for organizations that are more in line with what their personal or family goals are. But for those people that we have left in the organization, we need to think about what can we do to strengthen our talent bench, especially in terms of succession management. There are so many businesses that have very few critical talents. You know, you look at their org chart. There's a long list of employees, but those holding critical positions, they're just a handful. And if that handful, leaves the organization, what next? No? You start developing talent again from the ground up, which takes a long time, and you're basically two steps forward, one step back if you're in such a position. Okay, So these are the three questions that I am challenging you to think about in your family-owned business at the moment. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, now, of course, Sprout is here, no, and we can actually answer some of the questions, particularly on the first one on HR compliance. Of course, we have a whole continuum of products and services that we offer that will help you manage your employees. No? So let's talk about employee management. No? This is let's call it the facet, no, of employee management. No? Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so Sprout HR admin and recruitment. All of the data that you've seen earlier from Ma'am Laline, if you are on a very manual HR management process, then you will have to program all of your Excel payroll files to comply with those requirements discussed by Ma'am Laline. Whereas if you move to Sprout, no, what we have is all of those things you already do not need to think about because it's already built into the system. It's compliant, it's convenient, it's streamlined. You just need to put in your employee data, and then that's it. No, you tell us what holidays you observe, what shift your company, your employees are on. How many of them are timekeeping based? Do you want to have it, geo fenced or geo tagged? Then that's it. After your implementation, it's fire and forget. Okay, so that's the value of HR admin and recruitment as one of the tools that you can implement in your organization. Okay, next slide, please. Now let's talk about engagement and retention, which is what I was focusing on question number 2 and 3. No, let's talk about engagement and retention. Sprout has several tools like Pulse Wellness and InstaCash to help you engage and retain your talent. But let's focus on one thing. Next slide, please. Let's talk about analytics. Analytics, the Sprout HR analytics, of course, is what your business leaders would demand from the HR department when we talk about how do we say that HR is doing its thing correctly? No, how many people did we lose last month, or last quarter? How many people are performing? How many people are in their training organization? How many people are engaged or disengaged? Okay, all of this data we can get on two tools. No, this is Pulse, which is an ENPS framework, real-time employee engagement survey, and of course we have our our other tool, which is our analytics portal, which gives you all of the data that your business needs from the HR department in the click of a button. Okay, and this would give you the data that you need so that you can start focusing on the things that really matter for the business. Okay, next slide, please. Now, of course, lastly, we have our employee development tools, no, and that is Employee Performance Plus. No, Performance Plus is a beautiful tool because it combines talent learning management system and a performance management system. So we like to think of performance and learning as two sides of the same coin. We need to have our people undergo learning and training initiatives, and the theory there is that by undergoing learning and training initiatives, they will be better poised to have their performance metrics met during the next performance cycle. So with that, no, we offer a continuum of HR services and products that your organization would be able to leverage on so that you can move away from compliance and start thinking about strategic HR management, especially in the context of a family business. Okay, but that's not all. Next slide, please. Of course, this is the latest buzzword of 2023, artificial intelligence. Earlier this year, Sprout has completed the acquisition of Aya. It's another tech startup focused exclusively on artificial intelligence, generative AI. And we are actually starting to implement now a new product called HR Link. Next slide, please. So this is a chatbot that we have implemented. No? And the beauty of this chatbot is that basically you can start talking to it as if you're on a live chat agent that talks about your HR policies. So if you have questions on how many leaves am I entitled to in this particular quarter as a new hire, you have an easy access to your HR policy through the chatbot. Okay, so instead of leafing through files in your HR handbook, you can simply put in your question on the AI chatbot in HR Link, and then you will have your answer at the tip of your fingers. Okay, so this is the next wave, and we're happy, and we would like you to see how generative AI will be integrated into more HR products of Sprout. Okay, we believe that this is the next wave of the future, and we hope that you will see its value as well. Okay, so next slide. In conclusion, I would like to share that family businesses are uniquely poised to maximize gains from HR strategies. Okay, um, there's an inherent family culture, no, for whatever good, bad, and ugly, if you will. This is something that we can leverage on to generate a unique employee value proposition that focuses on employee development and employee experiences while being true to the values that are held dear by the family who owns the business. But this requires dedication and deliberateness to embrace compliance as well as focus on engagement and talent development as your three pillars of HR strategy as you face 2024 and beyond. Okay. And with that, I turn over the floor back to Christelle. Thank you for listening.
There you have it. Thank you, Attorney Lester, for the great presentation as usual on simplifying your HR and business processes, the new Sprout ecosystem, one platform, multiple solutions. In your talk, Attorney Lester, one that struck me the most are the key characteristics of what makes a family business different. As this is also one thing that I truly dig deep now that I'm heading the geo expansion as strategy for Sprout. I also focused on the factors of HR success comparing the year 2022 and 2023. There's also a lot of buzzwords that I actually have noted, like complaints management, innovation and technology, support from company management, and trainings and seminars. It's just truly proves that learning and development, as well as the growth of the employees, is to be prioritized now more than ever. I also believe we have attendees here who took screenshot of slides that they find relevant to them. Worry no more, as we will be sending a copy of the presentation deck for your perusal and for your future references. So again, for those who have questions for our speakers, please type them in the chat box and we'll address each of them later on. Also, there's an exciting news that we'd love to share with you all. We are very elated to inform you all that you can now reach us rather on Messenger. Type into the future of customer connection effortlessly by scanning the QR code on your screen. Drop us a message and let's chat about what matters most to you. Once you scan the QR code, you'll be redirected to Messenger, wherein you can click Get Started to learn more. All right, now before we can take on each of your questions, we actually have prepared a few questions for you. The feedback call should take about 2 minutes. This poll is important for us to continue creating meaningful topics and providing excellent events for everyone. You can actually see the questions on your screen right now. It's only a few questions and are pretty straightforward questions you can answer. And so please help us in reducing topics that you may find irrelevant and only allow us to deliver exceptional events in the future by taking the time in answering the feedback form. So we're going to be giving you a minute or two, and while you answer the feedback survey on your screen. All right, thank you. So we're now gonna be moving on to the question and answer. We are now gonna be, I'd like to call our speaker back to the virtual stage, Attorney Lester. And as early as now, I would like to really apologize for some of the questions related to Lalane's talk will not be tackled, but we will be making a way to have it answered by Lalane and share all insights and answers with you. All right, Attorney Lester, you ready for the first question?
Yeah, I would just like to say that if there are any questions on labor standards, I think I am also confident to answer them. No, subject of course to a different answer from the Dole. Kasi my point of view there is I'm a practitioner, no, so I teach this in the academic setting, and of course this is also part of my bread and butter as a practitioner. So
Yeah.
I think I can answer some of the questions on labor standards as well. So
All
go
right,
ahead.
sure. So for the first question we have for you here from an anonymous sender, what are some common HR practices that family-owned businesses should adopt to ensure fairness and equality among all employees?
Yes. So one of the practices that I have noted in family businesses is that they typically have a different pay scale. No, by a different pay scale, there would be, there would be a separate, pay scale that would be for people that they are the ones who are selecting to join the organization, and then you have your regular pay scale, which is being implemented by your HR. The unfortunate thing about that is that the concept legally is that we need to pay similar pay for people who have similar work. This was discussed by the Supreme Court in the case of ISAE versus Kusimbing. So the concept is equal pay for equal work. It doesn't mean that one to one, peso to peso, we should all have the same salary if we're doing the same work. It just means that there has to be, let's say, a minimum and a maximum value that is allowed in the organization that would maximize fairness, because it's also absurd if you have a rank and file employee who out earns the manager. No, it's absolutely different and unfair if that is the situation, because the manager has a different level of responsibilities and should be compensated corresponding to that level of responsibility.
Very good answer, Attorney Lester. Another one related to that is how can we communicate HR policies and procedures to family members and non-family members alike, or non-family employees?
Here's I don't know, a controversial take there. There in any family business, there is a patriarch or a matriarch who calls the shot. No, this would be a senior member of the family, and their decision is typically the most respected decision inside the business. No? There has to be tone from the top that these policies are applicable across the organization. No, if it's a policy on, let's say, leave management, compensation, company car, for example, these policies should be observed uniformly across the organization. Otherwise, then it becomes, again, an issue of unfairness, or at the very least, non-transparency. This does not mean, however, that if there is a policy that is, for example, company car, of course, family members would have a company car, if they are the ones running the business. But those that really matter, let's say your compensation, your tools of the trade, your hours of work, you look at your organization and try to get to know which facets of the business are important to your employees. Because if it's important to your employees, then you have to be uniform and equal and equitable if you implement a policy on that particular facet.
At the end of the day, it's truly about being open and
Correct.
yeah, truly really being open to one another, and really practice fairness and equality. Another question I have here for you, Attorney Lester, any pointers on how we can drive engagement for a family member in the organization?
Hmm.
This is a good
Oh,
one.
that's interesting. Kasi by default, especially for the larger family-owned businesses, there would be management trainee type of roles that the younger members of the family would be endorsed to, and the moment they get around, the operations of the business, then that is a prerequisite for them to be elevated to the management or executive ranks. No, um, there's only so much that the HR team can do. No, and the important thing that HR teams can do, I think, is to not let the is to let the family member feel that he is part of the company as well, not just a part of the family, but he is also a member of the team. He's also a colleague, and that kumbaga, the term of pakikisama is very important because there's a reason that the family patriarch or matriarch wants to have the younger ones join the organization at that level. It's to get the sense of ownership in the business as well. If the younger ones do not know and understand how hard the business is, then they will just think that the business is there for their personal convenience and comfort, which is not the intent, definitely. So let's try to make our family members who are part of the family who owns the business valued members of the team as well. Let's not make them feel that they're special just because of the last name. Let's make them feel that they are part of a bigger team. That's it.
Really, really thank you, Attorney Lester, for your expertise today. I'm sure our audience learned a lot from you, and they will be able to apply all insights, regarding with all their insights to their family businesses. Regarding the questions on Dole related topics or topics and discussions, you may actually check out the HR link on Dole regulations. It's actually provided in the chat room right now. And again, we'll try to reach out to Lalaine and make sure that we're going to be scheduling another discussion with her on the not continued topic. Okay, so Attorney Lester, do you have any other last words that you wanted to share with our audience right now?
Family-owned businesses. If you think about it, family-owned businesses are what makes the Philippine economy actually work. 90% of businesses in the Philippines are SMEs. And these SMEs, most of them are family-owned, family-run. From the small carinderia in the canto all the way to the biggest conglomerates in the Philippines, these are run by families. And again, in the words of Dom, I don't have friends, I have family. And that family should be something that we can leverage on in terms of shared values, a unique corporate culture, a family corporate culture that enables people to be the best versions of themselves, not only in terms of work, but also societal value. Okay? So I hope that, is a cap to our topic for today, Crystal.
We have an announcement. Actually, so Attorney Lester, thank you once again for your expertise and for always raising us your time. We have an announcement to each one of you. You're actually all invited to our next webinar happening on December 12th. That's next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Join our final experts, HR experts for the year paving the way for 2024. So it's going to be Attorney Lester Opley again, our evangelist, who will be discussing related topics to paving the path for 2024. For more details, kindly scan the code to register. You may also click the link to be sent in the comments right now. All right, so I think that's about it. That is all the time that we have for the Q&A question. For e-certificates, we will be sending out to you guys today. And for those who weren't able to join us this afternoon, no worries, as we will be sending out a recording for you to watch. Again, thank you everyone, and we really appreciate you for really appreciate you coming in today's session. Don't forget to follow our social media pages and use hashtag #SproutHRWorkforce to be updated on our events. See you at our next webinar, and stay safe, everyone.